Debate still rages around the new UFO video released at the latest UFO hearing in Congress. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, today I'm going to go over some of the recent debunkings of the video, then also some of the possible rebunkings of the video. To start with, let's go to what Chris Lato has been saying. Chris says, sorry, the new Hellfire missile UAP video is obviously a balloon. We should be talking about the Jackson, Tic Tac, or Borland sightings, or the USSR UFO investigations. Instead, we're talking about balloons again. Those damn swamp gas-filled balloons. When will they stop? I love Chris, but I'm not convinced that it's a balloon. Let's go to what ProPixels is saying in his debunking of the balloon idea, because he has said unambiguously that it's not a balloon. And here he goes into a little bit more detail. Remember this guy on the left, the Chinese spy balloon? And by the way, yeah, that was the only UFO, that was the only balloon shot down during Balloon Gate. There were other objects shot down, but we don't know what they were. They said they were balloons. They didn't show any pictures. They didn't show any debris. We don't have any pilot testimony. What were they shooting at? Why do we still not have any answers on Balloon Gate several years on now? What's up, guys? I mean, Ross Coulthard has said, yeah, they were shooting down UFOs. I think that's probably what they were doing. We need answers for that, but moving on. ProPixel says, remember this guy, the spy balloon, Chinese spy balloon? That's a balloon being hit by a Sidewinder. Look how the balloon just stayed there after impact. Zero orientation or inertial change. On the right, our new UAP clip. The UAP's orientation changes by 45 degrees after deflecting the Hellfire missile. Balloons stay and deflate. The UAP deflected the missile and was moved. The left is how a balloon reacts to being hit. The right is not how a balloon reacts to being hit. Okay, well, I find that very compelling personally. Also, if you'll remember Merrick von Rennenkamp's analysis, where he shows the object as soon as it gets locked onto by the missile, it rotates. It rotates to face the missile in a certain position, as if that would help it absorb the impact or deflect it or whatever. And it stops right before the missile hits it, seeming to be an intelligent, defense of some sort. Again, not very balloon-like. So, for those reasons, I don't think it's particularly balloon-like. But again, let me know what you guys think. But we also have comments from Mick West, of course, who is galvanized by Chris Lato's comments. And Mick says, former military pilots of all kinds, meaning Chris Lato in this case, are pretty clear that the new Yemen/Hellfire UAP isn't anything anomalous and is likely a slow-moving soft target like a balloon. But Merrick von Rennenkamp says, prove it geometrically, Mick West. Millions of people have seen the Yemen UAP footage. You built a 3D simulation precisely for instances like this. I'm 100% open to being prosaic, but there are plenty of oddities, rotation, mini orbs, lack of apparent descent, etc. Yeah, and you have these, identical looking objects coming out of it. What are those things? I don't know. Let's see. We also have some comments from Avi Loeb, if I can find them really quickly. Here we go. Provided for us, to us by Joe Murgia. Thank you, Joe. Given the known length of the Hellfire missile, says Avi Loeb, the UAP in the video can be inferred to be a few meters in size. This happens to be comparable to the scale of the Samad drones used by the Houthi rebels. The mass of a Sama drone is about 200 kilograms, about 4.4 times larger than the mass of the Hellfire missile. A peripheral impact on the tail or wings of the drone by the side or wings of the Hellfire missile moving at a speed of 440 meters per second could have broken off pieces of the drone without triggering detonation of the warhead. During the encounter, the Hellfire missile is moving about 6 times faster than the target in the video's projection. The known speed of the Sama drone goes up to about 70 meters per second, which is about a sixth of the speed of a Hellfire missile. The agreement between the expected size and speed of the UAP and the properties of the Sama drones suggests that the UAP in the video was launched by the Houthis rather than ETs. The Hellfire missile must have grazed the drone through a minor encounter that did not trigger detonation of the warhead. The Hellfire missile only mechanically broke off some pieces of the drone. To which Joe Mergia says, I'd like to see him address the three pieces that look almost identical to each other. Yeah, well, me too. So Avi Loeb thinks it's a missile. He thinks that it's not a UFO. It is, in fact, a missile. But it's such a weird looking gizmo, whatever it is, with three more gizmos coming out of it. And Michael Bradbury has some really good analysis here, which I think we will see, how anomalous this thing is and how it's unlikely to be a missile.
Here we go. Different format. I pulled out just a little bit to show the Hellfire making contact with the UAP. This is a much different format. And we're going to zoom in a little bit closer, take a couple of looks at the Hellfire making impact. It does indeed impact what appears to be the back half of this unknown object flying off the coast of Yemen. Right there, it makes impact. You can see it knocks it off course. And as you're going to see, somehow or another, right there following the impact, these three objects appear in the sky following the primary object right there. So the primary target turned into not only one, but four targets now. There's 1, 2, 3, now 4. It survived the strike. And the gentleman that testified before Congress said nothing that we have should have survived that strike. And it turned into 4, 3 smaller ones, and then the main primary one continued on. This one here turned out pretty good. You can see that these things are the same shape and same size. Look at that. And this one here started to glow for whatever reason, almost as if it had some sort of an energy field around it. Maybe it was some sort of a propulsion system. This one here started glowing, and then that one there started glowing. The smaller things you see are reflections off the top of the water. Those things definitely had density. Let me go back to that.
Yeah, reflections off of the water. That's interesting. I hadn't seen anybody else cotton to that, so that's neat. Now, all of this could be put to bed if we had the longer version of this video. Well, Jeremy Corbell says, yeah, there's more. And Jeremy and George Knapp, they knew of this footage before it was released. They hadn't seen it, but they knew about it and had talked about it. Jeremy says, I can confirm I am aware there is more footage. Unfortunately, it was not obtained, thus not released by Congress. It would make a difference. People should demand it. All right, well, this is me demanding it. I demand to see the full video. By the way, anybody in the intelligence community with legal access to SIPR can go check it out for themselves. So yeah, hopefully somebody will do that. And if it's legal, let us know what they find out. Either way, we're paying the bills for this stuff. The taxpayers are paying the bills for them to hoard this information from us. Well, that doesn't seem right, does it? This is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's not for the government to keep important secrets from us. So yeah, that's BS. That's absolute 100% BS that needs to change. Either way, some really interesting takes about what the UFO may or may not be. With Chris Lato saying, hey, it's a balloon. And, he's not the only one. Matt Ford and others have said, hey, it's a balloon. Avi Loeb, his take is that, hey, it's actually a missile fired by the Houthi rebels. Now, my own opinion based on what I've seen and how weird that object looks is that it seems to be very anomalous. Now, it would really help in our analysis of this, again, if we could see a longer version of that video. If that object just continues flying along and it doesn't fall toward the water, because that's what some people are alleging, is it looks like it's just flying along or continuing to fly after being hit, but really it's falling toward the water. Well, obviously, if we had a longer video of it just flying along, proving it didn't fall into the water, then that would put that to bed. Or if it did fall into the water, and we had that on video, then we would know. So, yeah, more information is always helpful. I don't know what possible justification there is for holding this information from us. It's very frustrating. It was old a long time ago, but it is it's past its prime now. So the sell by date of it's national security issues, and that's why we can't give it to you. That excuse has expired. So show us the goods already. We deserve it. We are in fact paying for it. So that's my take. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think that object is that was hit by that Hellfire missile, and let me know what you think those other three little objects, those identical objects, are that seem to be following in having originally come out of the bigger object. What is that thing? What are those things? Let me know your take on it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I'd love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt or a hoodie or whatever in the merch store. Become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours before everybody else. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.